In this video, let's talk about the collection expression arguments. First, let's see the problem. Let's say I have an array of strings representing initial users. I will use the C# 12 collection expression syntax to do that. So now let's say I need a way to include these initial users while having the flexibility to add more users later. So I will create a list of strings which would first include the initial users. Then let's add the fifth user, and lastly, let's print all of the users to the console. As you can see, all users contains initial users along with user 5. So yes, this will work. But the problem is that lists have an internal default capacity. The default capacity is 4. In this case, by adding the fifth user, I force the list to double its internal array capacity to create more space for future items. This is how lists work under the hood. This behavior is by design, but it can cause problems when these operations happen frequently. Each time this capacity doubles, all existing items must be copied into the new array with the increased capacity. So in other words, if this process repeats very frequently, you will be faced with performance degradation. One way to prevent this from happening is to provide initial capacity, which I will show you in just a few seconds. But before I move on, if you are finding this video helpful, make sure to like, subscribe, and drop a quick comment with what you've learned or a suggestion with what you'd like to see next. Now, back to the video. So I'm going to go ahead and comment out the current code. And now, let's try to write all of this from scratch, but this time, providing it with an initial capacity of 100. And that is to prevent it from doubling when the fifth element is added while also having enough space for more users. So now that the initial capacity is provided, let's go ahead and use addRange method to include the initial users along with the fifth user. Once again, let's print all of the users to the console. And obviously, more users could have been added, but to keep things simple, I'm only adding one extra user, that being user 5. As you can see, similar to the previous example, all users contains initial users along with user 5. However, in this case, a resize will not be needed because the capacity is already sufficient and will not need to be doubled until the count reaches 100 users. So this is great, but since C# 12, there was no way to provide any sort of arguments to the collection expression. So you first needed the new keyword to instantiate the collection and call its constructor to initialize it, in this case by passing a capacity argument. Only after that could you use the object to add items to it. Now, with collection expression arguments, you can do all of this directly within the collection expression. Let me comment out the current code and show you how it is done. So in other words, you use the with keyword, which passes arguments to the collection's creation method, usually the constructor, before the elements are added. Let's run to make sure it produces the same result. As expected, you still see the initial users along with user5 added after. Now let's see another example using a HashSet, which takes a string comparer argument within the constructor. First, let me create it without the comparer using the standard collection expression syntax introduced in C# 12, and then print all of the elements to the console. As you can see, everything was printed to the console because string comparison is case sensitive. Now let me add the comparer as ordinal ignore case to ignore case differences, and let me run it again. As you can see, only one ABC has been printed out since all the rest of them have been treated as the same string when casing is ignored. This is a great new feature that makes collection expressions even more flexible and useful. Comments on various forums show mixed feelings about this feature. Some developers say it deviates from the familiar syntax, while others like it. So keep that in mind, as it might change if there are enough votes or feedback, though for now it's still unknown. If any changes occur, we will make sure to update you here, so make sure to stay subscribed. Hope at this point you are clear about the collection expression arguments. And just to let you know, even more in-depth content is available at digitaldevacademy.com, so definitely check it out by clicking on the link in the description below, and I will see you in the next video.